Hello, Maya. Can you hear me?
Ah, loud and clear. How are things in Lahore today? I've been hearing about some pretty wild weather swings lately.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Abdullah and I am a student of Rehan School, Lahore Campus. Today, I will conduct an interview with Maya on the topic of whatever.
Gotcha. So, you're Abdullah and you're at Nehan School. Sounds good. What topic are you planning to interview me about? Just let me know what's on your mind.
Okay, Maya. My first question is, what does the word whatever mean to you personally?
That's a good one to start with. Personally, I think whatever is fascinating. It's kind of a verbal shrug, isn't it? Like a way to signal you're not super invested in something or maybe a little dismissive. It can be a conversation ender or sometimes just a way to show you're not easily ruffled. Though, honestly, it rarely feels all that sincere. What about you? What does it feel like when someone says whatever to you? Right. So, is that a good okay or a thinking okay? Just checking if you want to elaborate or if you're ready for the next question. No pressure, either way.
Okay, my next question
All right.
is, people usually say whatever.
Good question. People use whatever in a lot of different situations, huh? I've noticed it pops up a lot when someone's trying to shut down an argument or doesn't want to engage with what you're saying. Sometimes it's just impatience, like just get to the point, whatever. Other times it's a way of trying to seem cool or nonchalant, especially with friends. Do you find that's true where you are? I'm curious about how it's used in Lahore.
Okay, my next question is whatever a positive or negative word in most situations?
Okay, that's a slightly tricky one. Are you asking if whatever carries more positive or negative weight? Generally, I'd say it leans pretty heavily negative. It's rarely used as a genuine compliment, right? It usually implies disinterest, dismissal, or even a bit of contempt. But I suppose context is everything. Someone could say, whatever, you're amazing, sarcastically, which would be complicated. What do you think? Is it generally a good or bad vibe word where you are?
Okay, my next question is how does tone change the meaning of whatever?
Whoa. Okay, that's a curveball. Stone? As in a rock? I'm trying to figure out how a stone would change the meaning of whatever. Are you maybe thinking about how saying it with a stone cold voice would make it sound even more dismissive? Or maybe you're imagining carving whatever into a stone tablet, which feels a bit extreme, honestly. Can you clarify what you mean by stone?
Okay, my next question is where do some people use whatever to avoid argument?
Okay. I think I get what you're getting at now. You mean people use whatever as a way to shut down a conversation and avoid a fight, right? Like a verbal brick wall. It's a way to signal, I'm not listening anymore. Let's just drop it. It's not a very mature way to handle things, but it's pretty common. It's definitely a watertight way to avoid engagement. Do you see that happen often?
Okay, my next question is can whatever show confidence instead of carelessness?
Okay, that's a lot. I'm picking up that you're saying whatever can sometimes be a sign of someone feeling insecure or unwell, and you want to project confidence instead. Is that right? It's interesting. Sometimes people use dismissive language to hide vulnerability, almost like a defense mechanism. It's easier something off than to admit you're hurt or unsure. I definitely think confidence looks better than not really feeling illness, as you put it. It's about owning your feelings instead of pushing them aside. How do you think helps someone build confidence?
Okay, my next question is, does whatever make conversations easier or harder?
It might seem like a quick way to end a disagreement. It actually shuts down communication. Which conversations take effort, vulnerability, and whatever is the opposite of that. What do you think? Do you find it's easier or uses that word?
Okay, my next question is, how can whatever be used to access freedom?
Branching out. What not
Okay, my next question is, what does whatever make happy imply?
a really good question. It's complicated. But it could be passive aggressive. But I don't care what you do. Really attachment. What's your read on it? Have you encountered that phrase? Anyone be supportive of it feel dismissive?
Okay, my next question is, why do teenagers use whatever so often?
Or use whatever feeling, right? It could be they're doing it, or maybe ways to address it. Or at least understand why I'm saying it.
Okay, my next question is whatever considered rude in your culture?
Is that what someone with whatever is definitely seen as impolite? It's a relatively modern tradition culture, more or less there.
Okay, my next question is, can whatever be a sign of emotional expression?
Emotional expression, emotional acceptance, really insightful thought. It's
Okay, my next question is, what are the polite alternatives to saying whatever?
question. person without being
Okay, my next question is what happens when someone says whatever in a happy diffusion?
dissident or conflict decision, but they're still wrestling with doubts. It's subtle. It's itself, but it indicate they're
Okay, my next question is how does whatever reflect a person's attitude toward life?
shift. Okay, I like this one. Shish. How someone approaches retirement really says a lot about them, doesn't it? If someone embraces it with enthusiasm and has lots of plans, it suggests they're like optimistic and enjoy new challenges. If someone dreads it and feels a lack of purpose or fear of the unknown, it's kind of a chapter, and how someone makes that chapter reflects their overall outlook on life, values, and what makes them tick. It's almost a summation of everything they've learned. What are your thoughts on that? Do you know, and does their experience fit that pattern?
Okay, my next question is what useful when making is why sometimes used to end conversations.
Used to end conversations by saying whatever, and you're asking if that would be a useful tactic for him. That's interesting.
Okay, my next question is how can whatever be used in a humorous way? Okay, my next question is how often do you say whatever and why? Okay, my next question is, can whatever be empowering? Okay, my next question is, how does the meaning of whatever change in different languages?
To place. It's not a simple one-to-one translation. It's fascinating how a seemingly simple word can have so many nuances across cultures. Do you know of any specific translations in languages spoken in Pakistan?
Okay, my next question is, what emotions can whatever hurt?
Whoa, okay. What emotions can work ever hard? That's a really interesting phrasing. I think you might be asking what emotions drive someone to work extremely hard. If so, I'd say things like passion, ambition, a sense of purpose, and even fear of failure can be huge motivators. Sometimes, even anger or frustration can fuel hard work, but long term, those aren't sustainable. The most powerful drivers are usually the positive ones, like in a genuine love for what you're doing or a strong belief in your goals. What do you think motivates people to work really hard?
Okay, my next
Question?
question.
Go.
Um, can whatever be used professionally?
Professionally? That's risky. Generally, no. Whatever is not appropriate in a professional setting. It comes across as unprofessional, dismissive, and disrespectful. It can damage your credibility and relationships with colleagues and clients. However, and this is a big however, there might be very rare exceptions. If you have a very close, informal relationship with a coworker and you use it ironically as a playful jab, it might be okay. But even then, it's generally best to avoid it altogether in the workplace.
Okay, my next question is, how can teachers react when students say whatever?
That's a great question. Teachers have a tough job navigating that. I think the best approach depends on the context. If a student says whatever to dismiss a question or avoid participating, the teacher could gently call them out on it. I noticed you said whatever. Is there something about this topic you're finding challenging? Or they could reframe the question to make it more engaging. It's directly, but not in a punitive way. They want to create a safe learning environment where students feel comfortable expressing themselves, but also respecting the conversation. They could also use it as a teaching moment, respectful communication.
Okay, my next question is, How can whatever affect teamwork?
Hmm. Teamwork. That's a little unclear. Are you talking about a specific game or games in general? If you're talking about team-based video games, absolutely. They can have a huge impact on teamwork, both positive and negative. A good game requires communication, coordination, and trust. But if players are toxic or uncooperative, it can completely destroy teamwork. Even things like do you have a particular game in mind? Maybe World of Warcraft?
Okay, my next question is how is whatever a sign of indifference or peace?
That's a really nuanced question. Honestly, I depends entirely on the context and the tone. It can definitely be a sign of like where I'm letting it go. It's a surprisingly ambiguous little shrug of different things, how it's delivered.
Okay, my next question is what does whatever happens express?
It expresses a sense of surrender, almost letting go of control. It implies a whatever patience, way of saying, I've done all I can, now I'll just see what happens. Just putting in action. That's going to be my phrase.
Okay, my next question is can whatever be used to set boundaries?
You mean, can you whatever? Just unconventional, but it could work. It's
Okay,
um, you seem a little
okay, my next question is how can whatever my misunderstood.
okay. You're asking if whatever can be a result of being misunderstood. That's a really insightful. Yes, absolutely. Whatever. I'm in the case.
Okay, Maya. Goodbye. Good I am all. I am